Samuel 3. I'll start in verse 20 and then go to verse 23. So Abner came to David to Hebron, and 20 men with him. And David made Abner and the men that were with him a feast. Now, for Abner to come up with just 20 men shows that he wasn't an act of war, because if he was trying to cause a fight, and he came up with probably his best men, those who most represented it, and these 20 men stood in place for represented everyone, is what it was. And David made a feast showing, okay, I'm king now, I accept you all, we're at peace. And oftentimes when we do that here today, where those we're closest and interact, fellowship's usually around with the food. I mean, it's just common. You want to spend time with somebody, eventually there's food involved, you know. And David was doing that to make peace here. They were having a celebration because the war was over. There was no longer a fight. If Abner, it could have seen Abner bringing these 20 men in, trying to sneak them in to cause trouble. But David trusted in God and knew that, okay, if Abner's trying to cause trouble, God's on my side. He'll put a stop to it right now. And we'll do away with Abner completely. But David was also trusting, okay, Abner's trying to make peace. He lived up to his part of the agreement. It's time for me to live up to mine. Yep. So, oftentimes when we see division here, cause of that, when we make things right, there's those who's going to be disagreeing with the way we do things. There's going to be people disagree with the way God handles things, and God's timing, and God's the situation He's put them in. And we see that here with Joab, as he has trouble with this. Him just accepting Abner back in after the war had been fought so long. So in verse 21, Abner said to David, I will arise and go, and will gather Israel unto my Lord, the king. And they may go make a league with thee, and thou mayest reign over all thine heart desireth. And David set Abner away, and he went in peace. So what Abner's going to do is, because these people that were standing against David listened to Abner. So Abner's going to go proclaim, okay, David's king now. We need to be peace at that and serve him, because he's the one God's called. So Abner's going to get all these people who were resistant to David in line with his kingdom and in line with him on the throne. So what David sends Abner away to do is very significant. It's to finish making that peace with not just the dividing military, but those civilians that weren't involved but were against David and were backing the troops to fight against David, make peace with them. David didn't have time to go to each individual and make peace with them. He had to be military king. He had to set out and conquer the Philistines and keep fighting these wars. So he had Abner go in his place to make peace, because they would listen to Abner. And sometimes we have to trust somebody else to take care of things for us, because the Lord has us doing something different. So at this point, Abner and David are at peace. And Abner's going to continue making that peace. That's the plan. That's the agreement they're making. And in a way, Abner didn't have to do this. Abner just had to make peace with David. His part could have been seen as done. He didn't have to go much further than that. He didn't have to go out and help. But at this point, he's being not only an ally to David, but being a servant of David as king. So he's doing what's asked of him by his king. And when we come to faith in God, we're to do what is asked of us by our king. Sometimes it may be something difficult. Sometimes it may be something easy. Either way, we're meant to be to go do it. And this shows that we've accepted him as our Lord, our King. For us to be like, okay, we got a good relationship with God, but never actually at all attempt to do what he says, shows that we don't. By Abner listening to David's command showed that he accepted not only David's peace, but David as the king of Israel. Not just king of Judah, but king of all of Israel. Whether the people were all accepting of that or not. And for Abner to go shows that he went because his king sent him. And behold, the servants of David and Joab came from pursuing a troop and brought a great spoil with them. But Abner was not with them. It was not with David in Hebron, for he had sent him away and he was gone in peace. So Joab's going out and fighting his troop. They come back successful. Abner's not there because he's doing what David asked of him. So at this point, Joab and Abner's having division because of this fight. They were the ones in charge of them. They were both like captains of the troops. So while David's able to make peace with this, Joab's struggling, as we see in the next verse. And so Joab's out doing what he's supposed to be doing, and then comes back. Sometimes we'll be doing what we're supposed to be doing, and then we'll go like Joab and go off doing our own thing, thinking it's great, but when the Lord ain't leading us, our king ain't giving us that command. When Joab and all the host that was with him were come, they told Joab, saying, Abner the son of Ner came, and he hath sent away, and he is gone in peace. So Joab had problems with Abner. Joab didn't like the fact that Abner was released. Joab thought, okay, Abner caused all this bloodshed for Israel, for Judah particularly. He should have been killed. He should have been slain, set as an example to not to rebel against the king. But David showed mercy. And it kind of goes into the story of the prodigal son where the father shows mercy and then the brother has a problem with that. You can see Joab as the older brother who has a problem because Abner is shown mercy by the king. So we'll cover next week what Joab does about it. But he had a very big problem with Abner. Sometimes our service to the king is prevented by those that we have a problem with. Our past things we've been through that we didn't surrender to him. Joab didn't go talk to David about how he felt about Abner. David would have handled it in a wise manner because he would have sought the Lord for it. He would have did something, whether it would have been talk to Joab and just try to calm him down or something. He would have been able to take care of the situation, I think. But oftentimes, instead of talking to our king, we want to take these type of situations in our hand like Joab did. And we shouldn't. We should go to the king and let him handle it.